Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science and Technology. In today's show, Science Thursday, we're going to talk about battery chemistry progress of 2024. So let's dive deep into it. So you have to understand what is the need, so to say. Why every company is pouring so much money into R&D and every nation is putting so much money. Well, EV sales are growing worldwide. For example, if you compare from 2014 to 2023 and almost 2024, the growth has been exponential, meaning the amount of vehicles, and this is worldwide, global, it's very high. Even in India, where you may be like, okay, not that many EVs are sold, bonkersly large amount of e-rickshaws are becoming a common thing. So you have to understand, fundamentally, on a fundamental level, e-mobility is a thing that more and more people are consuming. So the demand is very high. On top of that, home energy storage became a sector. Now again, home energy storage was always a big thing in India because again, we had poor electricity. So almost every Tom, Dick and Harry had home inverters. So we had like small energy storage units. However, even the countries that have good grids, as in like 24/7 uptime, they are also buying bonkersly large amount of home energy storage because of development in solar. Again, that's my primary weak link in my home solar system. It's like inverter is good, the panels are good, it's just that I do not have enough battery, big enough battery to absorb all of it. So that's the weak link. So that demand is also growing exponentially. Basically, we went from, again, no solar in any roof to like literally one guy has 22 kilowatt solar farm. I have 2 kilowatt solar farm, one has here, and again, only in this location. So the amount of solar expansion that is happening on a home level is bonkers. So their year over year growth is brutally high there. So anybody who can crack it, they're gonna be printing some serious money. And then we have portable electronics. Their draws are also growing high. Now you were like, aren't company trying to do more with less? Well, yes, but they also want big ass battery, because here's the deal. Let's assume you built a super amazingly efficient chip and now you have a big ass battery. What does that mean? That means you're gonna have a kick-ass experience. You never want to have one vector. It's like, oh, the cell is, the processor is efficient. That should not be your selling point. You're like, the processor is super efficient, the battery is huge, then you're gonna have awesome experience. So, and again, so many portable electronics are becoming so power hungry that we do need. So three vectors are pushing everything. Like demand is very high. So first new kid in the town, so to say, is sodium ion batteries. Now be mindful, sodium ion batteries had been in research from exactly the same time as lithium ion. Exact same people were working on it, almost like same lab. It's just that by 1990 Sony, once they released lithium ion battery into the market, it just went boom. So lithium replaced everything, but sodium was always there. So the idea is with sodium ion battery is that the structurally speaking, it's more or less exactly the same as lithium ion battery. It's not going to old school of liquid having putting lead acid battery. It's completely different than that. It's far more closer to lithium ion to anything else. So the idea is, instead of having lithium ions doing the charge carrier, you have sodium ion as charge carrier. Now, why is such an interest nowadays, even though it was same from 1990s? Well, you have to understand, in the early days, it's cool and all that Sony put so much effort into lithium, smart lithium and all that. But the early days expectation was, this is going to be a portable electronics kind of thing. Electric vehicle was not in someone's imagination in 1990, like as a big thing that every Tom, Dick and Harry is doing. A home energy storage, every Tom, Dick and Harry doing. That was not the plan, so to say. And lithium ion, while the material cost was very important part of it, it was not the biggest sector. The biggest sector was the machines needed to build it. It's almost like how silicon is cheap, but the silicon wafer is super expensive. Because again, the machine needed to go from silicon to wafer was the most expensive part. However, because of the development and the demand, we went to a point where bonkersly large amount of demands have been placed into the system. Now you scale it up, it's like, yeah, we can scale the machine. Machines are sorted. We developed it, it's done, it's sorted. It's just that we cannot scale the mineral input. Like now the lithium cost is like, yeah, if you want to make every car into electric vehicle, yeah, we do not have that much lithium. The price is just not attainable. So once you scale it, then this weakness started to become a very prominent weak link. So now the interests are back. And there is another part of that, lithium ion chemistry is so well patented that you can't really do much with it. It's like it's almost like locked down. But in sodium, it's completely new market, so far more companies are willing to put extra risk into it. So it's cheaper than lithium and it's safer. Now be mindful, safety and energy density, they are contradictory to each other. For example, in lithium itself, you can have multiple chemistry mixture, so to say, and certain mixing will give you super safe battery, meaning you can chop them in half, nothing will happen. And so like you look at it wrong, it goes kaboom. So, but again, the one that goes boom has the most energy density. So energy density is generally always contradictory to the ability to how much energy it has. It's almost like why a nuclear reactor can go boom versus coal power plant. Coal power plant can burn, nuclear can burn. So it's inherent law of physics kind of thing. If you have more energy, more ways to things to go wrong. So lithium, but again, enough accidents have happened so far that people are like, yeah, we rather should have something that is safer. I'm old enough when I remember Nokia. Yes, Nokia was a phone company back then. Now it's a mobile tower company, but then it was phone company, and they had a very big oops. BL5C battery went oops. So it's like a newspaper articles and all that, and yes, people used to read them back in those days. So like, if your Nikon I'm saying, if your Nokia mobile phone has this BL5C, please check the serial number and all that, because again, they were going boom. So enough booms have happened that people are like, what if we can get something safer? So sodium does offer two things. It's safer, again, because it has lower energy, and it's inherently cheaper. So do not, under any scenario, if anybody tells you, oh, it's like same power, no. For example, this is 18650. This is 18650. If a lithium ion battery you want to buy, there are multiple manufacturers, be it Panasonic, be it Samsung, be it LG. They can give you a very high capacity cell that can go up to 3500 milliamp hour. Some are pushing even higher than that. So you can just buy anywhere in the planet, you can just buy it. You go into sodium ion, you'd be lucky to get 1300 milliamp hour. Yeah, it's not that much powerful. So it's almost like 4 watt hour versus 12 watt hour. So you see, that's why in 1990 this took over. But again, now we are like, hey, we really can't scale it. But again, if world is still mass producing lead acid battery for stationary application, what if those lead acid is replaced with sodium? That's why this company, CATL, is pouring money like there is no tomorrow. And this company is big enough with enough mass production that they can single-handedly push through this technology. And again, there is a very good chance that lead acid battery can finally be replaced from UPS, household energy storage, solar, and low-cost systems with this. That can be done. And again, this will last much longer, does not require maintenance, much better temperature, especially on the lower end kind of temperature. So it's very good. Now, do not, under any circumstances, compare the energy capacity and oomph from lithium, nickel, cobalt, and nickel, manganese, and cobalt. If nickel, manganese, cobalt compared with this puppy, yeah, it's not. The only way you can comprehend what kind of energy loss you're looking at, go from nickel, manganese, cobalt to lithium iron phosphate chemistry. So the amount of energy loss you will suffer is the same. So it's a very weak chemistry, and right now even that is not achieved. So right now lithium iron phosphate is here. Sodium in principle can reach here, but it's here, so it's going to take some time. So, but again, mass production has been achieved, meaning right now there are companies that are not just producing 5 pieces or 10 pieces. No, they are producing it, meaning there are things in market that are consuming it. Consumer products to some energy storage are already utilizing these puppies. So things are moving, and I do see a probability where they can finally displace lead acid battery permanently. It's like Da shall not have lead acid battery. Then we come to another hype word, that is basically silicon graphite anodes. Now this became the hype world because of the smartphone world, but the idea is that the same way you can change multiple chemistry. When you say lithium ion, you're not saying anything. So if anybody feels smart, oh, I'm saying lithium ion battery, does not mean anything, man. What exactly is this chemistry? Which manganese oxide you are talking about? Which cobalt you are talking about? So again, you have to specify. In that, you also have to specify what is the anode and cathode. Generally, anode is the naughty one. So anode, here they are changing anode from graphite to silicon mixed with graphite. So why would you do that? Well, graphite allows you to have little bit of lithium absorption. That's why we use it. Like you can have carbon atoms, they can digest lithium ions. Cool. Silicon, It can do. Okay. Yeah. Silicon can also absorb lithium ion. Only difference is one silicon atom can handle 4 of them. So you can fundamentally understand this puppy can handle far more lithium ion. The direct translation difference is 300% more lithium ion in the same surface area. So we're like, okay, lithium ion batteries are known technology from 1990. We are trying everything under the sun with it, and silicon is not a rare thing or rare isotope, so why the heck we are not using it? Well, yeah, if you do that, like if you actually have made the whole anode with that, yeah, the battery starts to breathe. Basically battery goes from that's why like nobody figure out how to actually make it. Basically it cracks and degrades the moment you start to put it, because again the physical layer size are starting to grow. So if you have a jelly roll of it, it goes so fundamentally it's not a safe stable chemistry, so to say, for long lifespan. So even though on paper it can give you 300%, nobody has cracked how to design a cell that can handle that. So next best thing is mixing it, basically having a little bit of graphite and little bit of that. That's what we are getting. Another is designing some sort of nano structure that allows a unique way where you can absorb so much lithium without changing the like overall volume. Can that be done? There is some potential, but be mindful. Do not expect the 300% more power. Yeah, you're barely gonna get 10% to 30%, 30% being the upper limit. Don't even expect that in the first generation. And what about fast charging? It allows more ions to move freely. So shouldn't that increase? Yes and no. Yes, in principle it should, but penalty, the battery starts to breathe. So yeah, right now, and again, all the companies that are selling, they're actually toning it down. They're going from 100 watt hour to like, hey, let's tone it down to 80 watt hour. And again, even if it was not necessary, you might want to do that, because you do not want to deal with oops failure on something's flagship like this. So do expect 10 to 30% gain. And one primary advantage of that is like genuinely translates, is that the cells can handle much lower temperature. Meaning if you are living in a cold place, where the heck in the planet you have cold place now left? I mean, the whole planet is warming, and like the winter over winter temperature is no longer going down, it's going up now. So I do not know how long that would be a desirable thing. But again, if you live in a cold place, these batteries do have better capacity. Not in hot temperature, but in cold temperatures, they're like, I got this. So that is desirable in some scenarios. So silicon graphite anodes are a new design philosophy, so to say, chemistry mix. And again, if somebody can actually figure out how to have that nano geometry that allows more lithium ion to move in without physically changing the shape, we could see some good progress. But again, 10 to 30% today, best case scenario is 50%. Do not expect more than that. So do not expect your mobile phone to go from, oh, we used to have like 3000 to 4000 milliamp hour to 7000 or 10,000 milliamp hour. Yeah, that's not happening, not anytime soon. So this is silicon graphite anodes development. Then we come to the old daddy that is becoming the new daddy again. That is lithium iron phosphate. Now be mindful of this fact. The early days of lithium vehicles, yeah, they were all lithium iron phosphates. Everybody knew that lithium iron phosphate is far more safer and stable. So people, again, company were building their first flagships. They were again not Tesla, other companies. So they were always choosing this. But once people started to compare, like, my range is bigger than your range, things change. So at that point in time, people went back to nickel, manganese, cobalt system. Yeah, once you have sold enough of it, enough of them started to catch on fire, enough people lost their homes, enough people some unfortunately lost their life, and enough property damage has happened where companies are like, yeah, no, that range is not worth it. Because again, you can sell 10,000 vehicles, only 5 of them have to catch fire, but they will be so bad that it's like, yeah, no. So whole market is shifting. Not only Tesla, not only Ford, every company is like quietly switching to lithium iron phosphate. While it does have lower capacity, it does have everything else better. For example, how much oomph, as in how much power it can dump actually a bit more power. How many cycles it can handle. That's actually the biggest advantage. It can handle far more cycles. For example, if in conservatively rated cells, they're going to give you 1000 cycle for high capacity batteries. Cool, awesome. Yeah. These puppies can easily go 3000 to 5000. So that's why more and more people are shifting to this. Yes, you are losing a bit of capacity, but you're gaining safety and you're getting longevity. While you may not give a damn about safety that much, but you will give a damn about longevity. So it's very perfect tool, and it's perfect for stationary use. So in India right now, you can just buy this sort of solar battery banks. And these are lithium iron phosphate. Now, are they expensive compared to lead acid battery? Absolutely. But again, you can buy this, and by the time you are on your second or third lead acid battery, these are like, I'm still going, man. So you will recuperate all the cost, so to say. So that cycling is happening at this point in time. Lithium iron phosphate for the future. Now, in principle, the next generation of sodium ion could give this a competition, a run for its money, but it's very far away. Do not expect that to happen anytime soon. Now, what are the realities of the scenario? Here's the deal. The jump, the biggest humanitarian jump that we had from lead acid battery to lithium ion battery, that was like, whoa. Like if you compare a lead acid battery, what it could do versus what lithium ion battery can do, nickel, manganese, copper, it's wow. It's like, damn. It's like, it's not only smaller, it's lighter, it's longer lasting, it has better round trip efficiency. That was a huge jump. We went from lead acid batteries to nickel based batteries to lithium ion batteries. But here's the likelihood of going from lithium to something that much better is very low. And it's going to take very long time, assuming if that is there. More than enough chemists I have looked into, and most of them are saying, yeah, we have gone through almost everything in periodic table, and the probability of having something this magnificent going from lead acid to lithium ion, yeah, chances are very low. And then there is another problem. Let's say by using geometry, nanotechnology, and increasing surface area in a fixed volume by utilizing advanced geometries, yeah, you may not want those batteries that can actually have, like, 10 times more power, because again, they have 10 times more power, meaning any oops event triggers boom event. So fundamentally, again, these things are contradictory. Like if a steam boiler that has like extra power, extra pressure, yeah, it has more likely to go boom. So it's the same thing. Fundamentally, the more energy you add, the more dangerous it becomes, just by the law. Just it is what it is. So do not expect magnificent jump from today's onward. For example, if you are saying today's car, expect tomorrow's battery, like again, recent batteries, as in like 5 to 10 years time frame, do expect the batteries to become longer lived, do expect them to be a bit more stable, bit more performant. Those things should happen. Those are chemistry sauce. That's like people are baking, people are cooking it. So those things do expect. Now what about a jump in capacity? Well, at this point in time, expect 50% more capacity. Like if you are getting a car that has 100 unit of capacity, 100 kilowatt hour, you can expect tomorrow to be 150. Would that be like 600, 7? Yeah, no. Again, right now, my current understanding and current people who are dealing with chemistry, they're like, yeah, this is the, and again, the primary gain will happen going from smaller cell to bigger cell. That will improve the packaging efficiency. So in the same volume, you will get far more oomph out of it. But do not expect like massive jump. So expect 2x the capacity, but do expect to have exponentially better lifespan. Again, I do not expect that to happen in real life simply because of planned obsolescence. But you could, in principle, if somebody wants to design a phone that lasts for 5 years, they can design a battery that also lasts for 5 years with good enough lifespan. That should be doable. Now, another aspect is that everything works in lab. Again, 1990, sodium, lab, cool. Again, sodium should be far bigger than, like in 1860, you should be able to get far more than 1300 billion amp power. But again, does not work in real life. So it's one of those things. It's not evil, it's not illegal, or it is what it is. Basically, everything works in lab, nothing works in real life as expected. Like you have to be wise enough to see that this lab reports, this battery has 10 times the capacity. It should be like listen from one ear, let it go from another ear. Do not get attached to it. Everything works in lab. And again, these are not evil people. They are not out there to troll you. They're just like, it works in lab. It's just that the moment they would try to make it, it's like, yeah, no. Again, that's life. So be very mindful of that. Another aspect is that even if something is there, like let's say somebody is mass producing sodium ion battery, why won't you just buy it? Well, there's a lot of auxiliary system. For example, right now, let's say Ola Motors, they make two-wheeler in India and they're selling a lot of them, and a lot of them are catching on fire. Now, again, they can make a choice. Can I go to sodium ion battery or can I go to lithium iron phosphate? They will most likely make the jump to lithium iron phosphate. Why? Well, what about the BMS? Battery chemistry is very sensitive. So the BMS is no longer just like, it's a system. Lead acid had that. It's like, bro, who cares? Like, we did not even bothered about cell balancing. And I'm talking about submarines. We never bothered with that. But when you are talking about lithium ion, you are trying to balance every cell. And again, even two-wheeler batteries that only have 80 volts, 90 volts compared to electric vehicle battery that could go from 400 to 800 volts. Yeah, those puppies, every cell needs to be managed. And again, for doing that, you need to know the chemistry, how it should be, where exactly each cell voltage should be. It's not easy. And again, you have to justify this money spent on it, because again, without a stable BMS, best case scenario, you're going to have a reduced lifespan. Worst case scenario, a boom event. So yeah, that's expensive. Another aspect is the cell balancer. Cell balancer, again, we do not use that in cheap products, but in anything like vehicle and car, you do need this. And they are expensive and they are custom built for chemistry. You cannot say lithium ion unless they have a smarts in there, where, like, again, in that scenario, how do you make sure that chip never malfunctions? Because again, malfunction will caught on fire or do bad things. So all that, so all these curves have to be managed. This is the auxiliary system. That's why you company cannot just go from, oh, now we have a, let's assume this big company finally cracked sodium ion battery that is cheaper, that is fundamentally cheaper, and gives you the same capacity as lithium iron phosphate. Many company will not switch, not right now, because these auxiliary systems are not there, not yet. So be very mindful of that. That's why all the changes that will happen very slowly. And again, even why, if a company has cracked, let's say, a silicon graphite battery, why they are not putting that in every phone? Well, yeah, the BMS chip has to be changed. So again, that will add a cost. So companies are like, hey, let's test it out. Let's put it on a flagship. If it works, if things go well, then they will sell it. And again, there is another aspect, is like, if it's actually good, they may not want to. Because assume the battery actually lasts 3-4 years. Battery is the primary reason why people change their phones. If battery started to last very long time, you are fundamentally compromising your planned obsolescence. So that's there. So please have your expectation a bit more realistic, so to say. This was my presentation on basically upgrades of battery chemistry in 2024. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it among friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.